we're going back to about the middle of this class. We're going to be graphing a parabola, but one big difference here is that the y's are what's squared and not the x's. So what we're going to do, instead of isolating y, we're going to isolate this lonely little x. And when we do that, we're going to have x equals y squared plus 6y plus 10. And now I'm going to follow all those same steps I followed before, which involves getting this thing in vertex form and making a table. But since x's and y's are flipped, we're going to kind of change the way we normally do things. So let's start with this idea of making this thing in vertex form. I'm going to take half of this b value and square it. And I'm going to add and subtract that value. I will then rewrite this part of the equation in as a binomial squared. These combine to make a positive 1, and I'm going to make a table. Now, but the difference is, because it's x that's isolated, and y is what's the, on this side of the equation, I'm going to pick y values and find appropriate x's. I also know that if y were to equal -3, then this whole portion would become 0, and x would equal 0 plus 1, or just 1. So to kick things off, I'm going to have a point. This is still my x-axis. This is still my y-axis. It's just I'm going to fill in this side of the table first. And I do know that the point 1, -3 is going to be on my parabola. And now, instead of picking x's, 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 I'm going to pick the y values that surround this -3 because everything's kind of flippity-flopped. So I'll use a -4 and a -5, and I'll use a -2 and a -1. And we'll just plug these different things in for y to find the appropriate x. I'll do the first one on the screen right now, but then you guys go ahead and pause it and try and find the rest on your own. If y were to equal -5, I would have a -5 plus 3, which is -2 squared, plus 1. This is going to equal 5. I'll do the rest of these on my own with the recorder paused, and you pause it too, and make sure we match. So you can see some of my intermittent work over here, and these are the x values that popped out, and now I'm going to go ahead and plot these different points, and you're going to see something that looks maybe a little bit different from what you're used to. I'll have the point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -5, 4, 2, -4, 1, -3, 2, -2, and then 5, -1. And what we're going to have is something that's not a function at all, but it is a sideways looking parabola. So a lot of the same steps we did earlier, that some of this stuff was new. You might need to review this part a little bit, what happened here. But in general, it's going to be stuff we've done. It's just going to be all literally sideways on us. Good luck.